Unit 3, the community. What kind of culture is now possible? We looked at the criteria for being in the church, and that is to trust in Christ. But now we want to look at the second idea of the community, and this idea that everyone is equal. So what do we mean by this? Because this could have a number of different meanings, but what we mean here is that regardless of your background, whether you were a Jew or whether you were a Gentile, in Christ, we all have a new identity and we are all part of the same family. So it doesn't matter what kind of a background you have. If you are in Christ through faith or through trust, we are all one. And so we see this idea of everyone being equal who is in Christ over and over and over. Like in Galatians 3:28, Paul makes it clear. He says, there is neither Jew nor Greek. There's neither slave nor free. There's neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ. And of course, he's not saying that your nationality or your gender just vanish. What he's saying is they are all secondary now to this primary identity of being in Christ. Being in Christ supersedes every other part or every other criteria that we used to use to define ourselves. There's a new one. If you are in Christ, all of these ones are now secondary. That's the idea. We see this again in Galatians 6:15. For in Christ Jesus, there's neither circumcision nor uncircumcision, right? The identity markers that separated Jew and Gentile, those are not important now, but instead a new creation. That is what is now important because you are in Christ. And he also talks about this idea of the two becoming one in Ephesians 2 right here, verses 15 and 16 says, so as to create in himself, in Christ. So what Christ has done is he has created in himself one new man from the two. So we're now one new thing where we used to be two and we used to be separate. And we see that it says, and that the reason why he did that is that he might reconcile them both to God in one body through the cross. So the cross is this amazing unifying tool that took two separate groups of people and made them one under a new banner, under a new identity. So that's this idea of what it means that everyone is equal. It says that no matter what your religious background is, if you are in Christ, you have a new identity and you have a new family, which is an awesome concept. So in our next unit, Unit 4, we're going to now continue to build on these ideas that we've started to cover, and we're going to look at this one, which we call the new reality. So as we're looking at the church, we looked at the criteria, we looked at the community, and now we're going to look at the new reality, and that is what truth and perspective is now ours.